Hello there. Welcome back to Grade 10 Economics. In this video, I want to look at the question paper of March 2023, and we are going to look at section A of that question paper, and this is our question one. We are going to start on the multiple choice section. So, take note that our question is at 20 marks, and the question to spend on average 15 minutes on this question. So, on the first part of the question, we've got 1.1.1. It is the branch of economics that applies statistical method is known as we want international econometrics and regional development. So basically, the correct answer that we have there is econometrics. Remember, the explanation in terms of econometrics, it can be described as an application of statistical methods of economic data in order to give empirical content to economic relationships. So basically, they come as statistical methods, and obviously, according to our question, and we have also the issue of uh, statistical method that is inside the explanation. So we see that our correct answer that we have there is econometrics. So we have a B is the correct answer. Then 1.1.2, it is the method of economics where statements can be proven right or wrong, is called test statement. So we have got positive, normative, scientific, and result as our responses. So obviously, the correct answer that we have there is positive. A positive statement. Remember, a positive statement is an assertion about facts of the world, and basically, you would see that it establishes a hypothesis that can be empirically tested. So basically, it comes with something that can be proven right or wrong. So obviously, we have now positive as our correct response that we have on 1.1.2. Then move on to the next question, 1.1.3, which reads the deposit of money into the circular flow is referred to as. So when it comes as a deposit, we can see that this is an addition to the circular flow. And whenever we have that, we know that this is represented. If you look at our responses that we've got leakages, savings, taxes, and also we also have injections as our responses. So basically, we are saying a deposit is an addition. So obviously, we have injections. Injections becomes the correct response that we have. Remember, when it's withdrawal, it becomes a leakage. So in terms of in this sense, we have got a deposit, which is an addition. So the response is injection. So we go to 1.1.4, says the type of goods and services that are provided by government are called dash goods. Obviously, these are public goods, and we look at the responses that we are having, and you see that we've got public at C. So we have C as our correct response. Go to the next question. The economic indicator that changed before economy changes are called. So we have got leading. The correct answer is leading. Leading. So remember those that change after. If we have after a year, we know that it becomes a lagging indicator. So basically, in this case, we have got a leading because it's the description that we have is that that changed before. So basically, this is what we have on the multiple choice section, and we have got 5 questions that are accumulated to our 10 marks. So we go to the second part of our question, which is 1.2, which is on matching words. It is choose a description from column B that matches an item in column A. So basically, that's what we have. So on the first one, we've got development economics. So development economics, we know that this is a branch of economics whose goal is to better the physical, it might be the physical position or the economic position, or also the social conditions of developing countries. So basically, it deals with developing countries on maybe making their conditions better. So basically, that's what we explanation that we in terms of development economics. So we are going to see an explanation that is within the context of this explanation that we have. So you go to column B, you see that 1.2.1, you go to C, region standard of policies and actions that result in an increase in the standard of living. So basically, that's what we have. Remember, increase in standard of living is a better position that is exactly being explained in the concept of development economics. So we have C as our correct response. 1.2.2, we've got a scientific method, and a scientific method is a process of objectively establishing facts through testing and experimentation. So at the end of the day, you see that it's a basic process which involves making an observation or forming a hypothesis, or we can just take it as making a prediction. So basically, that's what we have in terms of a scientific method. So we go to the responses that we have, and you see that if you go to E, it is the empirical research method where information is gained through experiments observation. So basically, E becomes the correct response that we have. Then we have got a peak. And remember, a peak is a point that we have in business cycles. Remember, our business cycles fluctuates. So this is a typical, a peak is at the highest point. That's where we have got a peak. So basically, we try to see, according to this explanation that we are given, what are correct response and we have. So if you go to B, says the upper turning point of the business cycle, which is this one. So basically, we have got B as the correct response. Leakages, I remember leakages were saying there are reductions in the circular flow or withdrawals in the circular flow. So basically, they reduce the income that is circulating in the economy. So basically, now we can see now within the context of that explanation that we are having, what do we have, which statement do make that in column B. So we try to see, according to the response given, to see that we will go to withdrawals from the circular flow at A. So we have A as the correct response. We got 1.2.5, which is saying production, but we know that production is an activity that takes place on the process of converting inputs or raw materials into final goods or a final product. So basically, that's what we have in terms of production. We have the manufacturing processes take place in the production. We go to our column B and try to see which explanation is within that context. Also, we have got a process where resources are changed into final goods. So basically, this is what we have. So we have got D. Then we go to our gross domestic expenditure. Gross domestic expenditure. So gross domestic expenditure, we can describe it as the total value of spending that occurs within a country's borders. So if you have got a total value of spending that is occurring within the country's borders, so we are saying that is within South Africa, for example, in the local economy, we say it's gross and domestic expenditure, and it includes the purchase of goods and services from other countries. Like we are saying, if we have got our goods being purchased from our local economy, also we call it also gross. We include it in the calculation of gross and domestic expenditure. Also, gross domestic expenditure is also a representation of our gross domestic product. In other words, it just means the same thing. So the value that you get by calculating gross domestic expenditure is the same that you are supposed to get when you're now using when you're calculating gross domestic product. So basically, according to our responses that we have now, let's try to see what response do we have. If you go to, let's try to see other responses down there that we have. F is saying total spending by the participants inside the economy. So we have F as the correct response that we have. So we have got F here as correct response. So you see that our question has got 6 marks, which means each question has got a 1 mark as indicated here. So we go to now the last part of our question, our section A, which is 1.3, which is give one term each of the following, one term for each of the following descriptions. Write only the term next to the question number. So we've got a 1.3.11, which is the value of the next best alternative are not chosen. So basically, this is opportunity cost. We know that this is opportunity cost, and opportunity cost becomes one of the elements of the basic economic problem. So remember, when we have 2 options, for example, you've got option A and option B. Then you choose option A. So the value of B becomes the opportunity cost. So basically, that's the alternative that is going to be chosen, which is B. So that's the explanation on opportunity cost. So our response, we are going to represent it also as the opportunity cost. So we can just maybe come here and represent our 1.2.1 as our opportunity. Opportunity cost. So we go to the next part of the question, which is going to be a 1.2.2 saying 1.3.2 is saying the method of production that uses more workers than capital. So more workers than capital. Obviously, we are using labor than machinery. So it becomes be a labor intensive approach. So we have labor intensive 1.3.2. So here we've got 1.3.1, then here it's now 1.3.2. So we are saying labor intensive. So it's now labor intensive. So we go to the next part of the question, which says the document containing all proposed income and expenditure by government. Proposed, obviously, it's something that we are saying the future income and expenditure of the country. Obviously, this it becomes the national budget. So this is the national budget. So we indicate it as a national budget. Then we go to the next part of the question, which becomes 1.3.4. Internal factors that affect business cycles. So remember, these are endogenous factors. Remember, when we talk about exogenous, it's the opposite. We are talking about external. They become external factors. So internal, they are endogenous. So we have our response, which is endogenous. So we are saying. So this is the last part of our section 8. So let's stay tuned for more videos to come. Let's not forget to subscribe and share to our channel. Let's share the link to our colleagues who are doing the 10 economics. More typical examination questions are going to be uploaded on this channel. So let's get notified. Let's turn on the notification button. As for this video, I'm signing out. Let's meet again in the next video.